Millie Welsh, Zebra Love Web Solutions, and today we're going to talk about are pay-per-click ads right for your business? It's definitely a topic that my clients have asked me about recently, so I thought it would be a good video. And I think a really good place to start is by going over some of the terminology that we use when we talk about pay-per-click ads, because a lot of these digital marketing companies are, just using a lot of industry jargon that I think most small businesses don't understand. So first things first, what is PPC or a pay-per-click ad? So basically it's an ad where the advertiser pays a fee every time their ad is clicked on. And if it doesn't get clicked on, you don't pay, but generally people do click on it. And the fee will vary based on a number of factors. For example, how competitive it is, which means like how many other companies are advertising for the same thing. What kind of audience are you targeting? And then also like how popular your ad is with that target audience. So paid search very specifically refers to ads placed at the top and bottom of the pages when you're doing a search on Google, Bing, and Yahoo. Like you've definitely seen these. They actually say ad, and they're usually at the top and the bottom of the search results. A display ad is a visual ad that shows up on a website or a social media platform. It works just the same, where every time the ad gets clicked on, the advertiser pays a fee. People can actually make money by putting these sorts of ads on their site with a service like Google's AdSense. Sometimes paid ads on social media are referred to as paid social. Another term you might hear is SEM, which means search engine marketing. And that's actually kind of more of an umbrella term for increasing your website's visibility in traffic, just generally. It often gets referred to more for the pay-per-click side, only because it's kind of differentiating itself from search engine optimization or SEO, which is basically getting to the top of those keyword searches in Google, Bing, and Yahoo without having to pay for it. There are also some terms we use to track the effectiveness of an ad campaign. For example, CPC, which is cost per click. That's basically how much of a fee you have to pay every time the advertisement is clicked. Things like impressions, so that's how many people actually see the advertisement or come into contact with it. And then there's also things like click-through rate, CTR, which is based on those impressions, what are the percentage of people that actually click through to the website. Additionally, conversion rate is the percentage of clicks that actually turn into leads or sales. And, that's all I'm going to say about some of the terminology. We could talk about it all day, but I think that's enough to get you started. So now let's get to the main point of this video, and it's, are pay-per-click ads right for your business? Well, it depends. In order to determine whether PPC ads are for you, you have to ask yourself a number of questions. And one of the first ones is, what is an acceptable acquisition cost for your business? Meaning, how much are you willing to spend to get a new customer? If you have a business that sells fairly large ticket items that have a pretty good profit margin, your cost per conversion can be a lot higher than, say, a business that sells like pencils or hand knitted hats or some other, kind of cheaper retail item. Also, think about what your average customer will spend in their lifetime. Does your business offer services that end up in repeat business? If so, then having a higher cost per conversion is generally okay. So another question you're really going to want to ask yourself is your website already set up so it's easy to track conversions? I think one of the biggest mistakes that companies make when they do pay-per-click ads is spending money without even understanding if they're getting any kind of return on investment. Another thing you're going to want to ask yourself is, how competitive is your industry? That will largely determine how much your pay-per-click ads cost. Like, do you have a lot of other competitors that are also bidding on the same keywords? That's going to bring the price way up. A good example of this, 4 or 5 years back, I did some pay-per-click ads for a local printing company. And unfortunately, they had a lot of out-of-state companies like Staples and some other big printing companies that were bidding on a lot of local ads for a lot of the services that they were offering. So, for example, they were doing pay-per-click ads for business card printing, and because these other companies were also bidding on these ads, it was getting up to about like $8 per click, which, at a certain point, it's just not worth it, to bid on those kinds of ads. Another thing you're going to want to know is how much traffic do the keywords you're bidding on actually get? If like they're only getting about 10 searches per month, those are definitely probably not worth spending money on pay-per-click ads. Another thing to consider is where you come up on natural search right now. That's not to say you don't necessarily want to do pay-per-click ads as well. I know one thing that can be kind of nice is having like a trifecta where you have your listing in the ads, you have your listing in the map results, and then you also come up pretty high on natural search. That means out of like the 10 or 12 things that are going to come up on the page, you have 3 of them. That actually really increases your odds of getting clicked on. Last but not least, if your marketing efforts do well, do you actually have the staffing to accommodate that extra volume? A lot of times I do see companies focus a lot on marketing, but then when their marketing actually starts to do well, they don't really have the infrastructure in place to handle the extra volume. So just make sure you take care of that before you spend a lot of money on marketing. All right, so we're going to close out the video with some do's and don'ts of pay-per-click advertising. First off, do know what you're trying to accomplish. What kind of products and services does it make sense to focus on, and what are you willing to pay? Do keep an eye on the keywords that you actually come up with, particularly in paid search. So in paid search, you have 2 different kinds of keywords. You have a broad match, which will basically add synonyms and things that mean the same thing. And then you'll have exact match, where somebody has to exactly type in the keyword in order for you to come up. If you're using broad match, which does actually make sense in most instances, just go ahead and make sure you're actually looking at what you're coming up for in those search engine searches, because a lot of times you're coming up for things that aren't completely relevant, and you can actually put those on your negative keyword list, which are things that you don't want to come up for. Do create specific relevant landing pages to all of the keywords that you're focusing on. Don't just send them to the homepage. The more relevant the landing page is to the keyword search, the less you're going to pay, and the more likely you are to get a conversion. Also related, make sure you have a clear call to action on those pages that will also help you get conversions. Don't pay for keywords that are your official business name unless you have competitors that are using it as their keywords. Because basically, I just feel like if your competitors are not doing that, and then somebody is searching for your specific business, probably at least 25% of the time they're going to click on the ad, and then you're paying for something that you would have gotten anyway. Don't do Google Ads unless you're going to spend a reasonable amount for your industry for at least 6 months or more. A lot of times Google will send you a coupon to try to get you to start to do some ads, but I don't recommend it unless you're going to give it a real college try. The ads generally get effective over time, as you get more data and make adjustments. If you're a small business that's looking to invest in paid search, don't bother with Bing or Yahoo. Keep everything with Google. Google gets a lot more traffic than the other 2 major search engines, and I just kind of feel like it's a waste of time to do Bing and Yahoo. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope it helped you understand pay-per-click advertising a bit more. ZebraLab Web Solutions does offer pay-per-click advertising in some of our digital marketing packages, so if you're more interested in that, head on over to zebralabwebsolutions.com. All right, talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.